What's going on, y'all? I wanted to touch on the subject. I've been heavy on the Chicago stuff just because the Chicago stuff is wild. Like a lot of stuff got normalized with us now, but with the stuff that's happening in Chicago is crazy. Like that is absolutely nuts. Well, in every major city, like it's absolutely insane, and we just accept it as it is what it is now. So I've been trying to bring like a light to that because, especially working with the youth, like I don't even work in a city anymore, and it's spilling over to the youth here to where I know it's crazy in the city. Like and once you get the youth, there's really no way back from that. But today I wanted to talk about Zorhan Mamdani, who is the mayor elect of New York City, which is super interesting. So
But I'm glad that I really don't like the guy, but I'm glad that he was able to go in there and do a good job with the president.
Many of the New Yorkers we spoke with today told me that they were cautiously optimistic and that they were impressed with the way Zohran Mamdani went into the Oval Office and kind of deployed a charm offensive on President Trump, which they said might have worked.
Unfortunately, this is what you have to do. You have to bow down, praise him, and walk out and wash your hands after.
I think that Trump continues to be the most transactional president we've ever had. So throw him his little bit of whatever, pigeon food, and get on with the business at hand. And hopefully Trump won't meddle too much.
Now, this is still very early in this relationship. There's still a long way to go, and the political winds could shift on a dime. So we'll see what happens. Zohran Mamdani doesn't take office for several more weeks. He will become mayor officially.
he is from Uganda. Originally was a rapper. Um I've seen them. This is one of the strategies that the people in charge do. They get the musicians, they get the actors, those type of people. They groom them to be in politics because one, if you're in music, you're for the most part, most people in music are willing to do anything for fame. Most, not all, but most, a large, large, large majority, a super majority. But I've seen this firsthand during the BLM stuff, right? I was still down in Milwaukee at the time when all that stuff was happening, all the riots and all that stuff was happening. And they approached one of the rappers that I was working with, excuse me, that's a little bit older than me, but was pretty influential at the time in the neighborhoods. They tried to do this with him too, of like pushing him, and low key they was trying to get him weapons, which was crazy. He denied it, which was smart, but I think he ended up paying for that in the long run because a couple projects that he tried was didn't work after that. But so in Mandani's, excuse me, y'all, Jesus, in his early career, he was a hip hop musician. We won't play any of the music just because I don't want it to get pulled down. Um, but it seems to be he was a pretty decent, successful musician. Not really here, but in India, it looks like, or Johannesburg. I don't know. Um, and then he went to politics as a volunteer in 2015. So they tried to play. So and y'all know the main of the story. If you're watching this, you're already kind of interested in what's going on. So I know you're already kind of keyed in what's going on. But I want to touch on a few topics with Mandani for sure. Is his relationship to George Soros.
By his election win by Alex Soros, who is the son of billionaire George Soros. There you see it. Alex Soros posted a photo of himself with Mamdani in a penthouse Tuesday night, saying he is proud to be a New Yorker and signaling his support for the newly elected socialist mayor. Soros is the heir to his father's fortune and succeeded him as the chair of his multi-billion-dollar Open Society Foundation, which is notorious for funding far-left candidates and causes. The nonprofit has indirectly contributed $37 million to the Working Families Party, which played a heavy hand in Mamdani's election. Now, these ties to the Soros family come despite Mamdani repeatedly stating that he believes billionaires should not exist.
And I thought that people would be now at a point where they understand this better. What Mamdani is essentially Barack Obama 2.0. He came in and they played that they speak the language of the revolutionary, but they serve the masters. And it's the same thing of we'll let them choose their leaders. We'll choose their leaders. We'll let them select them, which one they want. So please understand that, like, and it was interesting watching from like the outside looking in at how the right framed him as this radical. I honestly don't think he should be mayor because that'll be like me moving to Costa Rica and then in 6 years I'm the mayor of Costa Rica. Like that just doesn't seem right to me. It'll seem like in that short of time you can really get a grasp of who the people are on the ground and what the neighborhood. It takes a lifetime to do that. So I feel like especially mayors should be from the place, like they should be born and raised from the place that they are running for mayor at. They shouldn't be like imported from different cities. And it's my personal opinion on that. But where how he was framed to the right, like he was this radical Islamic terrorist, and to the left, like he was some socialist daydream that wants perfect. It's frustrating to me that like both sides of that have not come to the conclusion that they're both being gaslit. Like, it's no such thing as a perfect ending here. It's no such thing as a perfect system. I think in schools especially, the Gen Z crowd has been so brainwashed into believing that the stuff they read in books and they be reading books is real. And it's so ironic because they also at the same time call the people that wrote those books oligarchs and like white supremacists and so like it's the whole ideology doesn't make sense to me, and I don't understand it. I don't understand how you can think someone is out to harm you, but then you're using the materials to learn that they gave you that says they're out to like, it just doesn't add up to my brain. That's another reason why. So I went to a K through 8th Lutheran schools across from my house. So and I didn't get confirmed because I just didn't. I would always challenge it, and it's because it has to make sense and it has to align on all levels. And then when it does align, I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me. But if something doesn't make sense, I'm gonna call it out. And on the right, the ones that are like the forever Trumpers and the MAGA crowd, if they don't see at this point that Trump has doesn't care about them at all, and they were just being used and gaslit to vote so he could win because Israel knew that's the only person that they could get all their stuff with through. Like they don't haven't seen that by now. Like what more can we really do for them? You know what I mean? That's why I think a large portion of America's like, what more can we really do for y'all? If y'all can't see through the Mamdanis and the AOCs and Marjorie Taylor Greene surprised me. Her resigning is a major thing because I think that shows that she was authentic. Thomas Massey's authentic too, it seems. But if y'all can't see through this stuff now, and like it's they're lying to you on their face, and like if you have any belief that they're telling you the truth, it's you're either purposely doing that or you're not very intelligent at this point because it's so obvious. Like it's so obvious that Charlie Kirk what happened. It's so obvious that they are trying to take out Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. They've done this throughout history. Like it's so all this stuff is so obvious.
At all.
Was it difficult?
Not at all. Not at all. It created no problem at all.
No feeling of guilt?
No. Whether I was there or not, I was only a spectator. The property was being taken away.
You just heard him. What was his reaction? Nah, I don't feel any guilty when I'm going through it. The guy was Jewish, helping a Nazi, and you have the quote by this guy who was the leader of the Nazi group. At this point, you should know who I'm talking about. He who owns the youth gains the future. Is he inspired by that guy's vision to own the youth? Why else would you target so many universities?
And it's interesting that even still to this day, they say like, oh, you can't, whoever controls you, you can't criticize. But to this day, people just make broad statements and they don't say exactly what they think it is. It's so interesting, dog, of how controlled of a system that we live in. I don't think the Matrix is a physical thing. I think the Matrix is a mental thing. And I see so many in the black culture that live in the Matrix. The black culture Matrix is living in the hood, getting in the little beefs in the hood, embracing negativity, embracing narcissism, embracing all the evil stuff that we put on the white people. And on the upper echelon side, it's the make money at any means. I don't care what happens to other people. And it's just widespread throughout our society. And no one ever wants to talk about that, how widespread it is. And with Mamdani, he declared billionaires should not exist. But then he's in videos taking pictures with Alex Soros, who's George Soros' son, who runs the company pretty much. And I'm gonna break down what's gonna happen in New York. All of the policies that he said he's not gonna pass any of them. Your city was sold to the rich in this. They sold New York to George Soros. That's why Trump is cool with it. Because granted, I think that Soros and Adelson got beef. Like I think they're on two different sides of it, but they're okay with as long as the rich can have it, then they can fight it out.
The man who broke the Bank of England, a man who is known and designated so by a nation as an economic war criminal, has now pronounced his desire to break the Indian democracy. As you all know, George Soros, an international entrepreneur who hedges bets against many countries, has now declared his ill intentions.
The thing they can't have is someone that's actually for the people take over there. What was it, the guy with the red beret that's been on the subways and doing all that stuff? Like he was probably the most dangerous one in the whole thing. The sooner we realize that all of this is a play we're watching, none of our votes and stuff none of this is serious. Does it have real life consequences? 100%. But we're being played at every single angle, fam. Like, and it's not even a question about it. So, in a couple years, New York is going to be divided by the rich and the poor. They already started to do it, but if you don't have money, it's happening in New York, it's happening in Vegas, all these places. People are like, oh, Vegas is so expensive. They're pricing you out. Like, they don't need your money anymore because they know that the ultra wealthy are going to want to come there once the poors are gone. So they're just hedging their bets for the future because they're going to make more money and deal with way less problems than having the regulars there. Like, that's the thing that people aren't seeing in America. It's not like racism, it's classism. So like they're going to price you out so you just can't participate. Look at India. That's what America is on the way to becoming India. So it is what it is. We tried to warn y'all a long time ago. It's too late now. And yeah, so the rich literally own, from Hochul, the governor, Mamdani, like they own New York City. New York City runs the East Coast. So it is what it is, y'all. I'm just reporting from the apocalypse. All right, y'all. It's Kitty Cabs. I'm out. Peace.